5 of the 915 High School Football Insider Show. Took a little break last week. I'm here with Ernesto Jordan and Brent Hallman. I'm your guy, Trey Smith. Again, the point of this show is just to push out all the wonderful athletes we have here across the 915. As far as the varsity-wise on this page, we do have a sub-varsity page with the next gen as well. You can find that on Instagram. Go ahead and send all your posts in there. We post for player of the week and all that stuff. Post those stats in there so we can mix it up every week. We seem to get the same players each week, and we want to be able to mix it up. Get your names out there. Come on the show. Come be a visitor. We'd love to see you guys, meet you guys, hang out with you guys for 30 minutes or so. We'll go ahead and start off with this week. Our this week game of the week from last week actually. Franklin and the Coronado in the Westside Bowl, and Franklin won that game 16-13. Jay, on the Franklin end, how did they end up, with the dub?
The running game. Their running game was very good. Powers and Atreyu. That tandem, the 1-2 punch. It looked like Powers is the more finesse speed guy, and then you have Atreyu, which is going to give you that. He's pounding the ball. He's giving them tough yards. So it was a different pace of the game. Franklin got a good, not Franklin. I'm sorry, but. Coronado got a good linebacker, but they couldn't really stop it. But that was part of it on the offensive side.
Well, you got to mention Morales.
Justin Morales.
So
the line also for Franklin
But
it's not just Justin Morales on that line either. That whole line is very solid for Franklin.
Good size.
Yeah, and they're very aggressive downhill running team, and also Atreyu and Powers both are powerful running backs. Both have really good speed as well.
Very sneaky.
So they definitely both will eat up some yards. And again, I don't think this is an indictment against Coronado. That's a good Franklin team that they went up against. Coronado, I don't think they got nothing to hang their head about. I still think the 6A is completely wide open. It's any given Friday night, any team can win in that 6A team. So yeah, I think both teams. I think it definitely was what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
A running defensive battle on both sides, and that's exactly what it came out to be.
Yeah, for sure it was real with Coronado. You still have all those weapons you had last year. I didn't see a lot of pushing the ball downfield, whether it's to Kaysen or whether it's to their other slot receivers. A lot of Ben Wilson running the ball, which is fine because that's their guy. But maybe they may switch it up, and then maybe they put West at quarterback and let Ben out there, put him in the slot, and use it as a weapon too as well. So, but we'll see how that goes. But hey, congratulations to Franklin. They're definitely playing with the chip on their shoulder with the passing of their teammate, and it showed. And I think that's even more scary for these teams here in this district too, that they're playing with a big chip on their shoulder. So, and Coach Walker is definitely going to get those guys going each week. For sure. So again, congratulations to Franklin for defeating Coronado 16-13 down at the Sun Bowl for the Westside Bowl.
And shout out to all those fans. They filled up that stadium.
Yo,
yeah.
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I saw the pictures from the videos, and it was crazy. It was like no shot against UTEP, but they packed that thing out. That was just one side of the town.
Yeah.
And so to go ahead and continue on another big game that we had last week. It wasn't really a game of the week, but we kind of spotlighted it. Real major playoff implications for District 158 Division 2. The Hanks Knights traveled down to the Andrews Eagles Coach Sepkwith Stadium for their homecoming game, and Andrews came out in the win in overtime, topping Hanks 49-42. Brent, what did you see from Hanks that really from Andrews that really made them stand out there?
Well, I mean, again, the game definitely seemed to be like two high-powered offenses we've seen. Andrews kind of coming into their own here recently. Hanks has been high-powered all season long. Didn't see a whole lot of defense that game, but I just think Andrews was able to stay in it enough to get to overtime, and then was able to make one stop, and that's all you have to make in overtime is just one stop and get the win. And in the end, all that matters is they got the one win right there. But right now, that offense is definitely clicking on all cylinders, and of course, one of our players of the week, Avant Clayton, will be on the show later on. He had quite the night and scored the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, and just from Hank Shea, what kind of held him back just a little bit to squeak out the win? Was just Avon too much for them?
Um, I would say yes, because he was open a lot. Well, Andrews did, they set it up real quick for him. So I don't think they were really keen on him, but probably after the first or second score, they start to realize, okay, we know who we're gonna throw it to. They run that screen, the jailhouse screen, and he took off. So I mean, I think that's what it was. But it was a good game. But I mean, it happens in football. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some.
Before we continue the roundup real quick, I want to shout out our player of the week last week. It's from Hanks High School, Mr. Robles. He had 8 catches, 144 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Congratulations to you, sir. Keep on killing it. I know you had another big game last week as well.
It was 184. Just
184.
Yeah,
184. Okay, sorry about that. 184. Irvin over Bowie, 17-13.
A little bit of upset there. Yeah, I think Coach Elliott's kind of reinvigorated that program out there. Out at Irvin, he's got the Rockets playing sharp. Definitely brought a little bit of that offense. He ran over at Chapin. He's definitely got a spark over there at Irvin. So hats off to Coach Elliott, the rookie head coach, doing big things over there.
Yeah, for sure. Not very many other close games this week, guys. We have 2 more that are really close. The Austin and East Leda game. Austin won on the run play at the end of the game, I believe. Another upset. East Leda was undefeated.
I don't know if I call it an upset, but I think this year, going into this year, things were expected out of Isleta because they were moving down to 4A. They started off hot. I don't know if too many people that were in the Austin stands would call it an upset, because I think they were hanging their hat on, and I think we learned a little bit about both programs right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, just to bring up the standings for 4A, 4A, Austin 1, Riverside 2, Isleta 3, Clint 4, Irvin's at 5 seed right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see where Irvin finishes. We were all thinking Mountain View. I was thinking Mountain View, but now it looks like Irvin or Bowie or Clint might get that 4th seed. So
Nice, we'll see. And then our last close one, Jay, Eastlake, defeated Mountain 36-32. A lot closer than many expected, as far as especially myself. Thought that was going to be a runaway game. What did Mount do to keep that close?
What did Mount do to keep it close? Defensively. I mean, defensively they look pretty good. Defensively, they slowed down Luke with the passing game, but they also did slow down the running game as well. But I mean, in all actuality, almost doesn't count. So I mean, hey, shout out to them for doing what they had to do, but they didn't get that win. So shout out to Eastlake.
Mountwood's quarterback was throwing some dimes. I saw a couple passes.
Matter of fact, who was the quarterback?
Damian Briones.
Okay.
Yeah, he kept on hitting Adrian Cortinas, and he was open a lot. So that was a very good match. Team that was really good right there with their doing.
So let me ask Brent, before we finish up the show here, what is important these next couple games? Now in the second half of the season now. What's the importance you think for these teams that are fighting for these playoff spots to be able to get in?
I mean, first you got to clarify. Some people aren't fighting for playoff spots. So one division is an automatic shoe-in.
Right.
So they're not fighting for playoff spots. They just got to do the seeding, which is going to play itself out because everybody will be playing themselves twice. Of course, that's our 5A D1 division. Now, I think in some of those other, because of the way the 5A D2 got big and 5A1 got small but still dropped some people down, one team, it's a little bit more parity, I think, in 6A as well. And they had a bigger out-of-district schedule, so it's not like it was in previous years where I believe it was just 2 out-of-district and then 8 games. So they got a little bit more of a warm-up. They're finally hitting it. I think for a lot of them, I think in 6A it's going to be as close as 6A is, stay healthy, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. That's the problem is it seems every year in 6A a team comes in and blows it against the team they should win against. And then next thing you know, you got all these people going down to the last minute, So I think a part of that is beat the teams you're supposed to beat and stay healthy. I think in 5A D2, again, probably some of the same advice again, because you got about a similar sized district, and again, Lots of competition there. We seen how close it was in that game that we thought was going to be, major implications for a playoff seed. Tight game, went down to the end, So again, I think a lot of teams are hitting their stride on offense as well. But you also, if you look at some of the games, you also see a lot of the defenses are also really starting to gel in. And there might be some teams, push the ball, get some yardage, but you're noticing a lot of teams, kind of bending but not breaking at the last minute, and that helps out a lot. So that would be my advice going into the second half of the season.
Okay, and then Jay, as far as your end, what do you kind of want to preach those guys to, just to finish up the year strong? For those that they may not get that playoff, implication of that playoff spot.
Just don't take any team lightly. If you're not going to the playoffs, be the upsetter. Upset a team. Upset a team that's supposed to go to the playoffs. That's the only thing I think. If you ain't gonna make the playoffs, finish out the season strong. But at the same time, you got a team that's on the bubble. Beat them. You beat them, and you ruin their chances to go in the playoffs. So
yeah, hey, you never know what can happen. Let me go ahead and finish up here a little bit. Talk about our games this week that we got going on. All right, now the good part of our show here, we get to talk about our game of the week this week. We got two big ones. A big one in 6A can have major. I think every game can have major playoff implications, but especially this one, as far as seeding wise. You got Eastwood traveling down to SAC 1 to play the Eastlake Falcon. Did I say Eastside or Eastwood?
You said Eastwood,
I
but
said
that's fine.
Eastwood.
We understood.
Yeah.
East side.
Okay, I thought I said Eastside for a second. Traveling down to SAC 1 to take on the Eastlake Falcons. Thursday, it's going to be a Thursday game kickoff, so if you guys go out there and check it out for sure. Eastlake, what do they got to do to take care of Eastwood, defend the home field?
First up front, I think the first thing that has to happen for Eastlake is they definitely have to defend the pass rush up front. Keep Luke upright, keep his uniform clean, and just let him operate in that high-powered offense that Coach Rodriguez cues up every week. I definitely think if they can do that, it's definitely a big point of emphasis. Slow down that pass rush again, timing routes, slow them down with some play action pass, slow them down a little bit. Of course, with some screens as well. Slow that pass rush down of John, Vic, and Conrad. Hey, that's a lot to slow down. But if you can do that, give yourself time, keep them guessing, then you can start to maybe push the ball downfield a little bit. Teams have had some success pushing the ball down the field against Eastwood, to be quite frank. So I think you can stretch the field against them, and definitely Eastlake has the weapons to do that if as long as they can keep that pass rush down, and like I said, keep Luke Lamelli upright.
Yeah, no, definitely on the Eastlake side. Before I come to you about Eastwood, Jay, I know they had a couple guys out last week or the week before, the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks, yes.
Last 2 weeks. I think they're coming back this week. Two big guys,
Yep.
two main guys,
Mhm.
two weapons for Luke, which will help test that Eastwood secondary, of course. And coming to you to Eastwood, Jay, what do they got to do to take care of Eastlake?
I believe for Eastwood, I think it's Camacho is getting the start this week.
Yes. Rest of the year.
For the rest of the year?
Yeah,
Okay,
Camacho's
so-
done, yeah.
Okay, so with Camacho, I know he's young. He just got to stay poised in the pocket. He's athletic. He can run.
Ooh, he's fast.
He is fast. That's just on the offensive side of things. Defensively, their front seven is Eastwood's front seven is nasty. And we all know that. But at the same time, their secondary got to step up. Secondary's giving up a lot of big plays.
Yeah.
And I know they have athletes back there, but hopefully they're healthy and they'll make a run. If they step up this game, they slow down. They play good coverage because Eastlake has great receivers, so they're speedy. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how Eastwood kind of does a matchup game, especially if Chalk comes back, of who's going to follow him, whether it's going to be J.D. James, whether it's going to be Brady Deal or Jaden Joe. I think he's Jaden. Where they're going to bracket him with Jude over top, and kind of to see how Coach Julio draws it up defensively. We know their offense is going to be fine. They got two running backs. They got a Thunder Lightning for sure, so we'll see how that goes because Eastlake defense was supposed to be fast and nice. They got beat up last week against Mountwood. So we'll see how that goes. I know their secondary got a couple picks last week. So we'll see how that goes against Eastwood.
I do like that running game from Eastwood though. With
Yes.
Nate and the other young man.
Yeah, I like that for sure. The year with Camacho there in the house too.
Yeah.
And something I noticed about Eastwood is I feel like they shuffle around their offensive line a lot. Because at one quarter it could be one group and then there's another group. So I wonder if they're still trying to figure out who's that solid five guys going to be. But hey, let's make our picks for this game. Who you got? Ben, let's go with you first.
I'm gonna go with whoever has the ball last. I think it's gonna be a shootout, like most of the Eastwood games this year. So I think whoever has the ball last is gonna get the W.
Jay?
I'm gonna go Eastlake. I'm gonna go Eastlake. I think Eastlake has a lot of weapons in the passing game, and don't be surprised on the running game too. Was it Signs?
Right.
Signs is a
Who is
very
a big boy?
Is a big boy. That's a big back. So we'll see what happens.
I think their speedster was one of the ones that was hurt.
It was,
I think he's
Galeazzo.
CJ,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's back this week.
CJ and Trot, yeah.
Yeah, and then I agree with Ben. I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last, but I'll be a little bit more definitive. I think in that case, I'm going to take the deciding factor. I'll take the senior quarterback, Luke Lamelli. I think his experience to operating in big games out of the sack is just going to be.
Go ahead.
First ones or what?
That's my ringtone.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the deciding factor. His ability to operate in that offense. Having had played in big games out of the sack is just going to put them over the top.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I'm gonna go Eastlake, and like you said with Luke, as far as the big games, against Permian, against Liberty Hill, even against Rio Rancho, games like that where they're close. Of course the ball rolls the other way, unfortunately. But if he puts up those kind of numbers, I can see them definitely beating Eastwood for sure and making that secondary have a long night for sure.
Man, I just want the 6A for explosive season, man. It's been kind of dead in 6A this year. It's been a little
Everybody's
lame.
been talking about D2, 5A.
Yeah. So I would like to see a good physical 6A game Thursday.
Yes, sir. And now we're gonna travel on down to Central El Paso as the Chapin Huskies are going to host the Valle Conquistadores down at Austin Stadium. Brent, tell me a little bit about Del Valle wise, what they got to do to take care of Chapin.
I tell you what, the thing with Del Valle is just how many athletes they got on both sides of the ball, how deep they are. Whether you're talking about, they always have a stout line, line play both defensively and offensively up front. They're always stout. That's always kind of like they just reload up front as far as that. But similarly, in the secondary on defense and their skill positions on offense, of course, we all know about Jake Fetty and we all know about Manny Fuller. Two D1 already signed and locked in guys. Awesome, but you start going deeper than that. You got Johnny Bananas Estrada. Then after that, you got Ryu. After that, you got Dylan. After that, you got Ezra. And there's still 6 guys I don't know about probably that are also in there that are right up there. Abraham. Guys that you just keep naming them, and I'm down to guys that are going to play, that are going to be rotating. These aren't even starters, but these are elite level athletes that are like legit starters, in 6A programs, and other 5A D1 programs because they're that good. So they're very deep, which makes it hard to defend and it makes it hard to attack. So that's why they're so good and they're very well coached and they always come into big games prepared. So definitely that a very talented team and well coached team. And the Huskies got a handful to be prepared for this Friday night.
I'd like to point out this year Del Valle's only given up 34 points all season, so and 20 points in
They
this.
played against a good team in Cantil, yeah. And that's funny how you always talk about all the athletes. I feel like we always talk about this every time with Del Valle, but we have to because it's so true. And I'm sure people always get tired of all you guys DV'd. I mean, they're like that. They are them. That's the team in El Paso right now. We count on them to make a run for it. That's the team right there.
I would only offer my advice to when people complain about people celebrating after touchdowns. Well, keep them from scoring touchdowns. Don't complain about them celebrating. Don't complain about us talking about Del Valle so much. Complain about teams not beating them. and it makes it that much more simpler, to not get upset. But they're a very good team. I personally think, I know everyone has a top 10 list. They're top of my top 10 list easily. So, and I don't think it's even a little bit in question. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Coming to you, Jay, as far as shaping, what do they gotta do
The main
upset?
Main thing is defense. The defense got to step up. That's as simple as that. The defense got to step up. They got to cover well. They got to stop the run. They got to contain Fetty in the pocket. Because we know once Fetty gets out the pocket, he start running that long stride, he's gone. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Defensively, it's going to be, they have to step up defensively. Offensively, we already know what they have on that side of the ball. They have a lot of athletes on the offensive side. Offensive side of the ball. So, it's going to be up to the defense to make the stop. That's what I think.
Well, in district, Chapin is only giving up 29 points, so far.
We shall see that because one thing about DB, I know they took it real personal that people are going around talking about Cantil's defense,
right?
This and that, and then when they have that kind of game against Cantil, period, I think they kind of took that real personal, and they've been definitely a daunting defense since that game, even before the two. But we'll go ahead. As far as just kind of my thoughts about Chapin is, you need to find a way to get 9 the ball, find a way to get 4 the ball, find a way to get 5 the ball. You need to make sure you spread that thing around evenly. Make them have to decide who are we gonna focus on stopping. If you focus on Davion, it's gonna open up Kerry, it's gonna open up Brent. If you focus on Brent, it's gonna open up those other two. So we gotta see how Chapin manages that as well. I know Coach Chavez is gonna find a way for that for sure.
Well, and I'll talk a little bit about, of course, Coach Chavez, head coach, or everything that goes on, right or wrong in a program always lands on the head coach. But I tell you, Coach Grant Jordan, the offensive coordinator, he's doing a lot of good things and impressive things with that offense of Chapin, moving everyone around. It's very unpredictable where people are lining up. Defenses are having to come out and locate players and stuff like that. So he's doing a great job of being aggressive with that offense, keeping defenses on their toes by moving personnel around and doing a lot of attacking, not playing the percentages on certain downs. So he's doing a good job as well. Very impressed with the way he's running.
Is he the coach that came from El Paso High?
He is the coach that came over from El Paso.
Awesome. Awesome. So and then I know you guys talking about the big thing is turnovers with Chapin. If they keep those turnovers low to none, this will be a good game. Let's go ahead. I guess me and Ben, you're the only ones that are gonna make our picks this game because
I got a DNA requirement to say Chapin.
It's right there. I think it's
pretty
obvious.
So like I was telling Brent, this game is gonna be a tough one, but this is the first game I'm not going to pick. I'm not going to pick because I feel like I coach both athletes on both teams, and very I look at those kids as like my own kids, and I ain't got no kids, so I mean, I just want to see a good game. Everybody come out healthy. So.
Well, I'm always gonna say this. I have 3 nephews graduated from Chapin.
Yeah, and I gotta go with the Via here. I think it's just.
Hey man, you gotta play the odds.
I don't want to.
We're not mad at you. We're not mad at you.
Baby,
We're not mad at you.
They're just on a whole nother level right now. I mean, it's just crazy. But hey, so you guys heard that Thursday night at the SAC, Eastwood takes on Eastlake. Friday night for our other game of the week is Del Valle and Chapin.
All right.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and carry on to finish up this week. We talked about our 2 game of the week, so we're already gonna go ahead and finish up with our Friday slate. Thursday slate, we only got the Eastlake game. Friday, 6:30 SAC 2. We got Coronado versus Pebble Hills. Who you got, Brent?
I'm gonna take Coronado. I like Pebble Hills. Of course, I'm a big fan of Coach Warner over there. I just think that Coronado coming off that close loss, gonna be fired up. Again, I think that the problem right now is Coronado's defense is playing at a really high level. I think right now Pebble Hills is kind of trying to find an offensive identity. I think that's a good opening for Coronado to come play solid defense, run that football, hit you over the top a little bit. And I think it might play out like that. But again, in any given Friday night in that 6A is the thing there.
Okay, Jay?
I'm going to go Pebble Hills. I think Pebble Hills defense is going to step up. They're going to have to step up. I think they'll step up. And I think Pebble Hills offense will start getting in the gear. They'll start clicking.
Okay. I know this is first district game under the Coach Warner era for 6A, so I think those guys are going to come out for a little bit more purpose. I'm going to go Pebble Hills too, but it's not going to be a close one. It's going to be a close one, I'm sorry. It's not going to be no kind of cakewalk. Anthony travels down to Odessa Compass. Shout out to them, keep on playing hard, Wildcats. Austin takes on Fabens, travel down to Fabens. Bowie travels down to Tom Work Riverfront Stadium, take on Riverside. Sanelli takes on Irvin down on the Northeast. Irvin is shocking a lot of people this year, so we'll see how this goes.
Let's see how what they can do.
Stop that running.
Yeah, it's Lamar Vargas, man, dude. I saw the highlight. He's big.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big boy.
Yeah.
Mountain View battle the Clint school districts. Mountain View and Clint, they battle as well. I don't know if the quarterback's going to come back soon. I know if he does, the Mountain View offense is completely different. But as of right now, they're struggling a little bit. Andrews takes on Horizon. El Paso High at Jeff.
This might be two teams with no wins this year. El Paso High and Jeff. So first win for one of those two.
Jefferson won.
Jefferson already got it.
They did, right? You're right. My bad. Yeah, my bad.
And then we got.
This might be a battle for their only district win, though.
Right. Yeah.
Just being frank, not trying to offend anybody, but being frank.
And then we got Burgess at Hanks. It's a must-win game for Hanks. Reason being because they need to win out pretty much to get in the playoffs.
Right.
And hoping that Andrews drops one, or someone else too. We talked about already the VIA champion game. Let's talk a little bit about Mauda at Franklin. Jay, who you got in this one? 7:30 kickoff on the west side.
I'm gonna go Franklin. I'm gonna go Franklin because I'm telling you right now, the 1-2 punch of Powers of the trade. I think that's I think that's too much to handle because he's.
I'll take Franklin as well. That running game is a bit too much to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go clean sweep. I think Mauda's gonna come out with some fire, but this is actually the first home game since the passing of Emmanuel too. So Franklin's gonna be hyped.
Sure.
Bel Air takes on Parkland, a battle of
Defeated. Yeah, they haven't
battle of defeated and a battle pretty much of the 3 and 4 seed.
Yeah.
Who has to travel where to play against what school.
Right.
And then this last game we're gonna go ahead and talk about a little bit Americas versus El Dorado, Cam versus Ray Ray. We'll see how that goes. Brent, how do you see this going?
I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think America's is going to acquit themselves well and show continued improvement. But I think El Dorado's just going to be a bit too much for them, and I think El Dorado's going to take the win.
I agree too. I think El Dorado's going to take the win. Too much Ray Ray. Too much Ray Ray, too much Darius, too much Joker.
So yeah, that's too much speed over there from El Dorado. So,
but as always, any of the picks I get wrong, please, if you provide the shirt, I'll do the shirt in the show the next time of the team that actually won. That's
what
the thing we
size?
got. I always go with a double X, maybe an extra large, medium for my man Trey, extra small for my man Jay.
As I like to say, we are El Dorado High. But hey, I got El Dorado there. Me personally, I got them going 10-0 this year. But hey, thank you guys for joining us this week. It was fun. See you guys next week. Brent Hallman, Ernesto Jordan, Chase Smith signing off. See you guys next week. See you guys out there.